Go. Before you go.
Don't disrespect
No,
me.
no, no, no. Designation card. His designation card. No, 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 no. You run.
Welcome to the Audit Protocol, where we expose misconduct, examine policing and legal issues, defend individual rights, and demand accountability. This episode is brought to you by Audit. Be sure to check out the link below, subscribe to his channel, and give him the credit he deserves. In this episode, Audit is outside Trowbridge Police Station, quietly minding his own business when officers spot his camera and immediately shift into enforcement mode. Not because a crime has been committed, not because of any complaint, but simply because they do not like being filmed. Within moments, they begin demanding his personal details, making vague references to police powers while completely failing to explain which law they are actually relying upon. What makes the situation even more remarkable is the confidence with which they make these claims, as though authority alone can replace legislation. They repeatedly talk over him, ignore the fundamentals of professional conduct, and expect compliance based solely on their position. But when Ed starts pressing them to identify the exact legal power they believe they have, the conversation quickly moves in a direction they clearly were not prepared for.
Are you sorry? Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
Any particular reason for filming the police station?
Excuse me. Is that the way you approach a member of the public around here?
Yeah, normally.
All right. Well, I'm not going to be speaking to you then.
I'm
Whoa, what's going on here?
just asking why you're filming.
Because I can. What's your name and number?
First of all,
No, 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 not. I'm not going to speak to you. Do you want to identify yourself?
I don't have to identify myself.
Do you want to identify yourself?
You're filming a police station.
Yeah, you identify yourself there. 2541 Jenkins. Yeah? Okay, so the reason I'm filming a police station today is because I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were just coming out to see if you needed any assistance.
Not at all. I'm outside the police station. If I needed assistance, I would have gone in.
Okay, no problem. That's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
We're just coming out to make sure you're okay.
That's fine. I'm fine. You're dismissed now.
You don't dismiss me.
I actually do. You're a public servant. I'm a member of the public.
The encounter begins with officers spreading out around Ed instead of allowing one straightforward conversation to take place. It appears to be a tactic designed to box someone in before a single legal justification has even been provided. They immediately question why he is filming, but Ed responds by asking the officers to identify themselves. Apart from one officer, none of them do. One even insists he is under no obligation to identify himself, which is simply incorrect. Under the Police Code of Ethics, specifically Section 3.3.5, officers are expected to be open, transparent, and accountable, including identifying themselves when reasonably requested. That is not optional. It is a basic standard of professional conduct. Rather than meeting that obligation, they fall back on the weak explanation that they only approached to check whether he needed assistance. Had that genuinely been their intention, it would have involved a single courteous question, not a coordinated approach that immediately turned into an interrogation.
What's your name?
I think you're fine with crown servants, so you need to get your facts right.
I think we need
Excuse
to
me?
take some details off you. What's your name?
What crime do you suspect me of committing?
Well, at the moment you're filming a police station.
What crime do you
okay?
suspect me of
No,
committing?
listen.
I am listening. What crime?
You're filming a police station.
What crime do you suspect
okay?
me of committing?
And at the moment, for security purposes...
What crime do you suspect me of committing?
Hold on a
What
second.
crime do you suspect me of
Well,
committing?
at the moment, you're filming a police station.
And what crime is
okay?
that?
I don't know what your reasons are. For
Sir, we go on what we do
filming
know, not what we don't. So what crime do you suspect me of committing? Could you please articulate legislation? If you're not going to articulate legislation, this conversation is over.
Okay, that's fine. If you don't want to talk to us,
Yeah.
that's
So I told you, you are dismissed.
There's obviously you don't need to say that, do you?
Well, I'm
Right.
saying it.
The reason I'm speaking to you is because you're filming the.
I don't care. You haven't
station.
identified yourself, so I'm not going to speak to you. So now you want to identify
Okay.
yourself. Your policy says you have to at the beginning. All right.
Right.
Now I'll
You're
see your
also-
warrant card also.
You're also.
Show me your warrant
No,
card.
Hold on a second.
End of conversation.
The situation quickly escalates into repeated demands for Ed's personal details without a single statutory power being identified. No offense is described, only vague references to security concerns because he is filming a police station. But how exactly would knowing his personal details resolve that concern? If filming is the issue, learning his name does nothing to stop a camera from recording. That argument simply does not stand up to scrutiny. When Ed points out that policing should be based on clearly articulated legal grounds rather than speculation about what officers think might be happening, he raises an entirely valid point. Suspicion must be based on objective facts, not assumptions. One officer eventually provides his name after being repeatedly asked, yet refuses to produce a warrant card or official identification to verify it. Undermining the very accountability they are demanding from Ed. They expect transparency while offering none themselves.
It's suspicious.
Not at all. Listen, you are not even a police constable. I suggest you hush your gums.
You need to wind your neck in.
Oh, I need to wind my neck in? Okay, so having my neck wound out is a crime, is it? Is it? What crime? I'm not being arrogant. Listen, and you're not being disrespectful to me right now by running your mouth at me.
How do I know?
Who do you think you are?
How do I know what you're doing? I don't understand what you're doing.
Listen, do you need to know?
At this moment in time, you're suspected for a terrorism offence.
Oh, section 43?
Because
section 43?
You're filming
is that section 43?
You're filming inside the police
Is that
station.
section 43?
You're filming inside
Is that section 43?
Stop interrupting.
I'm asking you, Constable. I'm asking you, Constable. I'm not going to speak to you anymore. Is it section 43?
Why are you filming a police station?
Is it because I can?
Well, at the moment, like I say, you can't.
Could you, if you want to articulate legal legislation that says I can't, then I will. Let's wind it in. Let's wind it in. I'm going to ask you a specific question. What you just said there in regards to the terrorism, yeah? Are you talking about section 43?
I'm talking about somebody...
No. Sections. Legislation, please. Let's talk legislation.
I don't need to talk legislation.
Do you know it? If you're not going to talk legislation, this is over.
The situation becomes even more concerning when one officer blurts out, "Wind your neck in," before suggesting that such behavior amounts to a criminal offense when challenged. That isn't simply a poor choice of words. It reflects a fundamental misunderstanding of what actually constitutes an offense under the law. There is no criminal statute that makes someone guilty merely for being outspoken or argumentative. Public order legislation requires specific legal elements, such as threatening or abusive behavior that is likely to cause harassment, alarm, or distress. Simply questioning an officer or challenging their authority does not meet that legal threshold. The fact that the interaction is portrayed as criminal simply because the officers dislike Ed's tone speaks volumes about their level of tolerance. Then comes a familiar fallback: terrorism. No clear statutory provision is identified, just the word itself, as though mentioning terrorism somehow removes the obligation to explain the legal basis for their actions. When one officer insists that he doesn't have to discuss the legislation he is relying upon, that becomes a central issue. If officers are exercising a statutory power, they should be fully capable of identifying and explaining the legislation that authorizes it.
I'm asking you why you filming a police station.
If you articulate a crime which says that I am at liberty to give you that information, you just asked me a question.
For the camera, this gentleman is pointing a camera into a police station.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
there's obviously cause for concern.
What cause for concern?
Well, because of the security.
Articulate crime. No, listen. Articulate a crime to me. What? From who? From who?
From all kinds of
From who? What are you talking about? Be specific. I'm being specific with you.
Anything that looks out of place. That's
What's
how we
what's
work.
out of place?
A person that.
All right, so I'll tell you what I'm doing. 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 I'm making a story. I'm an investigative journalist, and I'm gathering content for a story. Okay, there's my reason.
And that's what we're trying to find out.
Yeah, we just told you. I didn't have to tell you.
Yeah.
But I did.
So that's what I'm asking.
No.
I'm not threatening you or anything.
But listen, no. Because you're doing exactly what thousands of police officers do in this country. Okay, you come up to somebody expecting them not to know the law, and you start throwing accusations.
Ed continues asking what is perhaps the simplest and most important question of the entire encounter: "What crime do you suspect me of committing?" Rather than providing a direct answer, the officers repeatedly return to the same vague reference to security concerns, as though repeating the phrase often enough will somehow give it legal weight. That repetition is revealing. If there were a clearly identifiable offense, it would have been stated from the outset. Instead, the conversation drags on while no concrete allegation is ever put forward. Eventually, Ed explains why he is there, not because he is legally required to, but because he wants to bring the stalemate to an end. Ironically, that decision highlights the weakness of the officer's position. The more they avoid identifying an actual offense, the more obvious it becomes that this interaction was never truly about investigating criminal activity. It was about asserting authority without establishing the legal grounds necessary to justify it. Once those grounds fail to materialize, the entire basis for the encounter begins to unravel.
shit like that around at them.
That you didn't know
yes, you
the law.
did. You came out.
You're assuming that
Man,
I'm.
you.
that you're
What is
working
your
it. I'm not
issue?
saying
But then
that.
why won't you let me finish speaking?
Because you're not asking.
You weren't.
I don't have to let you
We
speak.
were
We
asking.
have to let you speak.
But then go away. Go back in and do some actual police work.
As a journalist, surely you should know by asking a
just
question,
listen.
you should get an answer.
Do you suspect me of a crime?
Well, at the moment,
And can you answer yes or no?
I'm a bit
Do-
concerned as to why you're pointing a camera.
Is
into a police
concern a
station.
crime, sir?
What?
Do you suspect me of a? Do you suspect me of a crime?
Like I say, I'm trying to find out from you
Do
why
you,
you're pointing a camera.
do
into a
you
police
suspect
station.
me of a crime?
Well, at the moment, it's a bit suspicious that you're pointing a camera.
Is
into a police
suspicion a
station.
is suspicion a crime?
No, it's an inquiry.
Okay,
that
no,
will
okay,
carry
no.
out.
I don't need the cops explaining bit. Let's talk facts. Is suspicion a crime?
Well, no, not.
No,
at the
okay,
moment.
stop then.
we
Okay,
don't
stop
deal
then.
with just
Okay,
crime
just yes, you
all
do.
day long.
But do you
No,
suspect?
it's
Do you
a
suspect?
myriad of
Do you
different
suspect
things.
I'm about to commit a crime?
You can.
Do you? But if you don't know, why are you here speaking to me?
The turning point comes when it asks a direct and unavoidable question. Do you suspect me of committing a crime? The response changes noticeably. Instead of referring to suspicion, the officers begin talking about a concern. That distinction is significant. A concern is not the same as reasonable suspicion in law. It does not create police powers, nor does it justify demands for personal details. Deep down, the officers appear to recognize that difference themselves. When Ed asks plainly whether simply holding a camera is a criminal offense, they acknowledge that it is not. In reality, that should have brought the encounter to an immediate conclusion. Instead, they continue trying to stretch vague suspicions into something that might justify their actions, as though personal discomfort could somehow be transformed into legal authority. What increasingly becomes apparent is that pride has taken the place of evidence. Walking away at that stage would mean accepting that there was never sufficient legal justification to begin with. So the discussion continues, with each additional explanation doing little more than reinforce the same unavoidable conclusion. No identifiable offense means no lawful power to demand compliance.
Because it's policing by consent, isn't it? Is it not policing by consent? Okay, so when I'm asking you questions to try to understand why you're accosting me and you refuse to answer the question, you are, because I'm just a normal member of the public. Yes. No, I'm not. I'm not.
No, just let me speak.
I don't care what you have to say. How about that? Jog on. Off your trot. There's snout going on around here. Is rudeness a crime?
Look silly
No, but
because
you're-
you're
Is rudeness a crime?
you're being rude
Public
to us.
order
We
is.
don't have
Huh?
to engage
Public
with you.
order
to
is.
just work.
Yeah, public order. But am I using excessive words or behaviour? So then don't listen. You don't even know what. Before you go.
Don't disrespect
No,
him.
no, no, no. Designation card. I want to see his designation card. I want to see his designation card.
Neck in and get off.
No, 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 no. You wind your neck in. Off your trot, little piggies.
Good.
Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig. Pigs.
What stands out most by the end of the encounter is not the raised voices, but the retreat. After repeatedly demanding Ed's personal details, making references to terrorism, and attempting to stretch vague suspicions as far as possible, a different officer suddenly states that they are under no obligation to continue the conversation. It's a remarkable shift from the way the interaction began. The officers were the ones who initiated the contact, dictated the tone, and steadily escalated the situation. Yet, once Ed's questions become increasingly precise, and his request to see officers' identification continue, disengagement suddenly becomes a preferred option. Point one officer physically ushers the others away, a gesture that speaks louder than any explanation offered throughout the encounter. The issue of accountability also remains unresolved. Ed once again asked to see an officer's designation and warrant card, something that should ordinarily be a routine request. No identification is produced. Instead, the officers walk away while continuing to shout instructions from a distance. That is not an example of calm, professional communication. It reflects growing frustration rather than measured policing. Had the officers been genuinely confident in the legal grounds of their actions, their departure would likely have been clear, composed, and fully explained. Instead, the encounter ends with raised voices, unanswered questions, and very little clarity. Ultimately, what this incident exposes is not simply a lack of legal knowledge, but a lack of restraint. Rather than enforcing clearly defined powers, the officers appear to be reacting to circumstances they found uncomfortable. Once reaction replaced sound legal reasoning, the entire encounter gradually collapsed under its own weight. They entered the situation believing that authority alone would carry them through the exchange. By the time they walked away, it was evident that authority, without clearly articulated legal grounds, was never enough. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps me continue producing independent coverage like this. Also, be sure to check out Audit Ed's channel using the link provided in the description and show him the support he deserves. Thanks for watching. This has been the Audit Protocol, and I'll see you in the next video.